Welcome back. For anyone who's in the Fallout community, I'm sure like me, you've recently been inundated with posts that state that the NCR has been destroyed and that New Vegas has been made non-canon, to the point that I've had to make 2 other videos on the topic. However, while those videos were more short form and made to clear up confusion in the wake of the Fallout TV show's release, in this video, I wanted to take a solid deep dive into the information on the NCR presented in the show, and to decisively separate the truth from the ramblings of idiots on social media. But before we got into that, I think it's best if we talk about you monster, and the fact that you're not subscribed to me. You better do it, otherwise I'm calling Todd Howard. I'm telling him to make Fallout Brotherhood of Steel the only canon game. My finger's on the phone button, you better do it. First and foremost, I wanted to stress that nothing in New Vegas has been explicitly retconned, and New Vegas is still considered entirely canon. With that out of the way, I wanted to go into the information that's actually presented in the show about the NCR. In the episode The Trap, there's a timeline of events listed on a blackboard, wherein the fall of Shady Sands is dated to 2277, suggesting that there was a level of decline in and around the NCR capital. Now, I want to clarify something. The fall of Shady Sands and the nuclear bomb shown later are not the same event. The fall can mean many things, but in this case it's meant to mean that there was a decline in and around the NCR capital, either in terms of its population or its society. A historical parallel will be the fall of Rome, in which the city of Rome was said to have fallen, but in truth operated the same for a long period of time. The next event we see on the chalkboard is a drawing of a mushroom cloud that has no title or date, although it likely happened close to 2281. For reference, Fallout New Vegas takes place in 2281. Since the precise order of events that led to the destruction of Shady Sands is unclear, we learn from Maximus that he was a child when the city was nuked, and since he's a young man in 2297, that timeline matches up for the nuke occurring in 2282. We know that New Vegas takes place in 2281, and there's nothing in that lore to suggest that the capital of the NCR had been destroyed in a nuclear blast at that time. The closest we get are the events of Lonesome Road, and Ulysses' plan to bomb the Long 15. As of 2296, when the Fallout TV show takes place, though, much of Shady Sands is a large blast crater left by a nuclear detonation. However, many of the buildings in the surrounding area still remain intact, such as the Shady Sands Library. Now, we know from the show that the NCR definitely survives as a faction and it still exists. However, like what I said in my previous video, we know that the faction has waned in its power a considerable deal, with the fact that the Brotherhood, which was previously confined to small bunkers such as Lost Hills, is now able to fly their vertibirds and carriers around with impunity in Southern California. However, we see from the outposts in the show that the NCR is still certainly a presence in California, and it's important to remember that the NCR wasn't just confined to Shady Sands, having its territory extend over much of California, including Northern California, up past San Francisco and into Northern California as well. Now, a lot of people say that this contradicts the lore presented in Fallout New Vegas, despite what I've said prior about the dates matching up. However, I have to dispute this. With pretty much everything that we know about Fallout New Vegas and what the characters tell us, everyone outside of the most devout Republican in New Vegas believes that the Republic is set to fall. The core point that Kaiser makes during his speech is that the Republic itself is a corrupt entity that won't survive any kind of incursion, such as the campaign he was planning into Southern California after his victory in New Vegas, a victory that most people believe would have occurred without Courier intervention, including Robert House. From what we learned from more world-weary characters in the NCR is that the Republic is extremely corrupt and is on its last legs governmentally. This, combined with their almost certain loss at Hoover Dam, would mean that they were poised for their own destruction, considering that the last NCR president, Aaron Kimball, spent most of his term and much of his political power attempting to make Nevada the next state of the NCR Union. While we don't know for certainty how the NCR exists in the current state of Fallout, we do know that they're on the back foot politically, and they need to recover from their current loss, both in the Mojave campaign and against the nuclear attack that happened after their defeat. So with that, we've more or less covered the entire lore of the NCR that's been presented so far on the Fallout TV show, and particularly how it weaves into the existing lore around New Vegas. I hope that this does clear up a lot of people's confusion, since like a lot of you, I've been seeing a lot of misinformation on the current status of the NCR and the Fallout timeline in relation to the TV show. And with nothing else, have a great rest of your day.